live.
Good morning, good day, good evening, good afternoon, good everything. And we have a launch about to happen. Not a book launch, but a cat launch. A cat over there is about to launch up to there, and the dogs are on standby because they're hoping. I think you're just a little too intense, my friend. So anyway, that's my distraction. What's yours? Good morning. Is anyone here?
I'm giving it a minute.
We're on week 2 of the book club, and today we're going to do Heart, Throat, and Third Eye.
Jan Ramian says, hi, Joan and Claudia. She's the first one.
Jan.
Okay.
Okay.
I'm going to zoom in a little bit because we could see the blanket.
All right. And we have to get Jan the form. So there you go. All right.
There it is. Thank you.
And, okay, Elsa.
Leave it.
Leave it. All right. So we have a really fun little hour here ahead. And is anyone else here?
Susie says, I made it. Woo!
Woo-hoo! Okay. So we are looking at a lot of stuff today. We're looking at 3 chakras, and I just did a really fun class at Awakenings down in Laguna Hills on Saturday, and it was looking at the chakras with everybody's animals. So I feel like I've been this is all I talk about anymore. But it's fun because I see people get empowered, and that's really what learning this should do. It's empowering you to understand more about your own animal and about animals and about chakras, and chakras are fun, so it's really great. And I'm grateful that you're all here. So if you're new to me, my name is Joan Ranquet. I'm an animal communicator, author, TEDx speaker, and founder of Communication with All Life University. And we have programs for people who want to become an animal communicator or just learn it. We have programs for people that want to learn energy healing or become an energy healer. And we have wildlife trips. So we have all sorts of fun things ahead. And tomorrow I start a class with the Shift Network. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I'm checking.
Pull my hand out.
The mic's not working.
The mic's not working?
Much better, they say. But the mic should be working. It's not working.
It's on. All right.
Keep going. They can hear you. It's just the mic's not.
Okay. All right, good. All right, so here's the thing. I want to just talk about what we have coming up because it's big. We more than filled the immersive, the animal communication immersive. I mean, it's packed. We are training teachers because it's so full and going to be so much fun. But we also have the intensive coming up in the spring. And if you haven't thought about coming out here, I would seriously consider coming out here because this is the year of the horse. I mean, it's like, come on out. Come on. If there was a year to come, not that you shouldn't come in a snake year. I mean, that's also cool. Weirdly, we had so many rattlesnakes last year.
Yeah, we did.
That's so funny. But we've just got horses. That's really cool that those snakes showed up.
Yeah, there was like 3. Right?
3. We had 3 rattlesnakes in my friend came and removed 3 rattlesnakes. And they've gone on to have happy lives somewhere else.
Professional lives, right?
Yeah, some of them have professional lives. they teach the rattlesnake training, and then they teach once a month, and otherwise hang out in a warm place.
Leave it.
Yeah, don't let her be on you like that. Yeah. No, Elsa.
She's in rare form today.
I know, she is just full of, she turned 1. Elsa, come up here. This is my 1-year-old little beast. Beast.
Okay, Ellen Dillon says hi.
Hi.
Hi, guys. Susie says, I have resident corn snakes.
Oh, very good. Are they named? Anyway. So, yeah, we'll get started here in a second. I'm trying to think. So tomorrow, if you're interested in learning, even more about this, tomorrow starts the Shift Network. And we're going through, it's animal communication, energy healing from birth to end of life to afterlife. And it really is looking at things through the lens of the chakras again. So it's going to be a really cool class, and it starts tomorrow. We also have Spring Intensive. We're going to be doing the Animal Empath Journey again in January. But and if you're interested, I would love to know, because we're starting to put stuff out about Lola and I are putting Lola Michelin of Northwest School of Animal Massage. We're doing a chakra and bodywork class. Yeah. Chakra and bodywork class. Oh yeah. Chakra and bodywork class. Oh yeah. So anyway, we're starting that January 8th. Let me know if you're interested. We also, here's the big news. Yeah, way to bury the lead. We are in open enrollment right now for all of the programs, and we do it every December, and we're doing it a little bit earlier than we usually do this year because we can. Because we have so much going on in January that we wanted to make sure that we got everybody at least phone calls booked if you're interested. So let us know. We have a lot of fun on the big program, right? Ellen and Jan. And Jan's been here and Ellen's been here. So they can say that it's pretty fun to come to an intensive.
We have a lot of people saying they're interested in the chakra and bodywork class. Carla Callahan says, I'm signed up for the Shift Network class, but we'll have to listen in the replays. I will also be coming to California for part of the spring intensive. Yay!
Yay!
And
chakra and bodywork. Bless you.
April Adams says, I'm an animal massage therapist.
Oh, cool.
So, okay, people were talking about snakes. Lynn Cooper wants to know if the chakra and bodywork is going to be online.
It's going to be online it's going to be one Thursday a month for 7 months, right? So it'll be the first Thursday in January. It's going to be the second Thursday in February because we're traveling. We're both traveling. It'll be the first Thursday of every month except for 1 month. And then, yeah, we have in the works, we've got an in-person idea that's going to be really cool. And I go up there and teach at her place, and she comes here and teaches here. So could be on Vashon Island outside of Seattle, or here in Santa Clarita outside of LA. We're working on her heart chakra right now. Oh, yes.
Okay,
Heart chakra.
Looking here.
Heart chakra.
Jan Ramian says, yes, the intensive is a must-do. I loved it.
Oh.
Ellen Dillon says, it's amazing to be in person. Highly recommend it. Susie.
Oh, yeah, Susie's been here.
I love being there so much. Yeah.
We love having all of you.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay. So, anyone else saying hi? Say hi and tell us where you're from. It's always.
And Ellen says that dog is awesome. LOL.
She is pretty ridiculous.
She got stoned when you were working on her chakra, on her heart chakra.
Uh-huh.
There she goes.
Oh. She is so funny.
Lynn Cooper says, UK based, so fingers crossed I can make it online. Still waiting for my book to be delivered soon, I hope.
Okay, we would, yeah.
And Sandra Farley says, I did my training for small animal massage with Lola. This is an exciting opportunity. How do we register?
Okay, we're going to have that done by end of week. I'm working on it. I just got all her stuff today. All right, so let me pull up, or yesterday. There you go. So we have the Heart Chakra, which is here between the withers and here into the shoulders. And that's our heart and this chest, right? All the way down to these feet, these really cute feet that match Penelope's feet, which is so crazy. How did I get 2 black dogs with white feet? Huh? Anyway, I did because I'm lucky. So, this chakra, you know, I always say that it holds love and joy together. Joy and grief, actually. So the heart, of course, is love, but is also joy, and in Chinese medicine, and then the lungs are grief. So these are the things that are contained here. Some of the core themes of this is love, compassion, emotional balance. Hey, maybe we don't lick my iPad. I'm not sure why we would or wouldn't, but we're not going to. It's also connection and relationships, forgiveness and letting go, and the bridge between the spiritual and the physical. So one of the things that I love about the heart chakra, the physical and the spiritual. If you look at this little body here, the first 3 chakras are really all about survival and very earthly and of this world, right? This is where we start getting into more like speaking the word, intuition, trust, divine connection, all of that. But if we were to just say what is both physical and emotional, we're really looking at this heart chakra. And it's also very connected to my experience with you, dog, my experience with the horses, my experience with the cats. It's like, this is where the connection really happens, heart to heart. When we see, like, look at where we walk. When we walk a dog, when they're on a leash, I know, you're just a little too excited about Buster Keaton. I know. He's definitely torturing them.
He just went under your chair.
Yeah. He's meowing under me. Yeah, we're going to leave it. We're going to leave it. I think you're yeah, there he goes. Leave it. So when we walk a dog, we're usually walking right there at that heart, right? Like their heart is connected up to us, up to our first chakra, next to our legs, completely connected up with our need for safety. So there, you know, that's where it's like the walking on the leash really becomes so important for, I mean, of course, some people with a leash let the dog out in front, but if you were doing proper training, that dog is next to you and really feeling into not only your connection to the leash, but also the guidance of your legs. Oh yeah, we just landed in crystals. Okay, Penelope. Oh, too bad. And up he went. Okay, thank you. Now we can leave it. So, the other thing when we're walking a horse, we're right there, right? We're so always connected to this heart chakra. What happens when an animal goes into fight or flight? This chakra activates. The lungs expand, the heart rate goes, the they're dependent on this front end to get them up and out. Yes, the hind end is still the engine, but this is really where it is, where the action is. I've seen a million animals where if you think about front end lameness, these are animals that probably were so exuberant and so excited, and often just either had an out-of-body experience and injured themselves because they're so happy. I mean, I have to keep my eye on this one because you're pretty happy. But also, they'll try to please in a training scenario. So that's where you see dogs in agility that are such pleasers and so happy and creative and joyful and la 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 la, and then they land wrong, right? Same with horses. Horses that get pushed too much by trainers. So these are the sorts of things that happen in physically in that front end as a result of being so kind of happy, if you will. The balance is, of course, bringing that energy back to the hind end. It seems like it always comes down to let's just do a bladder sweep for everything. We can talk about that in a moment. So, the things that this heart is connected to physically are the cardiovascular system, the heart, the lungs, the respiratory system, the chest and upper back, and the thymus gland. And I want to go back to the forgiveness thing. One thing that is pretty evident with, when we look at animals who, we love to say that they live in the moment. Well, they live in the moment to a certain degree. It's sort of like the, buy into the unconditional love. They do live in the moment. What is beautiful about them is very often, if you were to get them out, if they were in a deep state of grief and you got them out smelling, activating all of their, stuff that we're going to talk about next, activating their senses, they can be very present. But it doesn't mean that they don't have a memory, otherwise they wouldn't be in grief. And it doesn't mean that they don't have a sense of future, because that's part of what makes up a personality, right? Scientifically, it's having an awareness of the future and the past. And what I can tell you about my dog Delilah, this is how I know she knew there was a future, when we could be driving down 126 highway, straight up there toward Ventura. Now, we could go a lot of places, but if I take a right turn on the 101, she would start screaming because she knew we were going to the beach, right? So you all know what I'm talking about. You all have those animals that are anticipating the thing of the future based on their past. And so they can get future oriented, they can get past oriented, but it feels like, their heart is where they connect up with the present moment and are able to get past certain things. So forgiveness is really important. Like if you have two animals that have moments, right? Taking the time to ask them to please forgive each other becomes a really powerful way of resetting for them and allowing them to be in the present moment and not hanging on to the scuffle, right? When we keep hanging on to the scuffle, then they're more inclined to do a scuffle again. And so we have to let it go, but we have to kind of be the agent, if you will, between the two and say, you guys do your apology. And then they do it in their own way, but they don't hang on to all of this stuff in the same way that we do. If they do, it's trauma, right? And that's when we have things like the EFT, emotional freedom technique. Even animal communication starts to help someone be seen, be heard, be acknowledged, and that starts to release things. Some of the things that happen when an animal is imbalanced in this way is, or deficient, if you will, underactive, is they close down, they feel very guarded, they have difficulty bonding or attaching, they seem cold or aloof, they can't trust, hold on to grief or resentment, lung issues, asthma, things like that, and seems to have a wall around them. And I can tell you that, like, one of the things I've looked at with a lot of animals who have asthma is, were they given the space to grieve something? Were they given the opportunity to, and you know, grieving might not look like it does for us, where, you know, we just want to go into the other room and just stare into space or cry or, you know, overeat vegan ice cream or indulge, right? It doesn't, grief for them can be very, they stay super active and look like everything's normal, but inside they're really hurting. And that's where allowing animals a time out and acknowledging, do you need space around this? Because I've found that, that is a very, important thing. Now, I will say also, I mean, EFT tapping, well, animal communication too, but EFT tapping really helps with the grief. And I've seen it. I did a lot of tapping with my horse my horse Pegasus, when he first came here. He was very shut down. He liked me, but there was no one else around. He was very in love with his person who had died 3 years prior. So, and he'd been moved around a lot. So he took him a long time to really want to connect with me. But he connected with the other animals, pretty quickly. And so, yes.
Shiloh asked the question exactly about this. So Chief says, is EFT the only way to work through grief? That's why I smiled when he said EFT for grief.
I think one of the reasons it's so powerful is, especially if you've used an animal communication session to pull out the feelings to create the script, is, it's really, it can be you're using their words, you're using their feelings, you're kind of mirroring back for them all of these things. So it becomes very, very, very important, I think. And we do, in the Animals in Transition, we have a grief script that's really, really, really powerful that we use. I won't be teaching that tomorrow because I'll be with the shift, but Claudia will be. Anyway, so when the chakra is excessive, the heart chakra is excessive, they can be codependent or overly attached, enmeshed. I like to call it enmeshed. And then I put jealous here, but I don't believe jealousy like in the way that we're jealous. Like, they might have a possessive moment, like, hey, he got a better treat, or hey, but truly, jealousy is a secondary emotion for people, maybe even on a third tier. It isn't something that they necessarily have in the same way that we do, but they have an awareness that somebody's getting something more, and that might create a possessiveness. And some of them can love too much. Some of them can't handle separation. They take on others' emotions like humans or maybe the other animals in the household. They have a little bit of anxiety when loved ones are away, and they give too much. Okay, and here's something that isn't here. And this is my favorite thing to talk about the heart chakra, is if you have the least amount of guilt or worry. This is a vortex, this heart chakra. Like, you look into their eyes and you just cannot fill that void, no matter what. And so the heart chakra, guilt is just, it's the worst offender with animals, because then we're just like, oh, take this, blah, 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 right? Or we feel sorry for them, so we give them extra this, and we create a monster. Well, this vortex that I'm talking about is part of creating a monster. So we're unable to really help them, right? So one of the things we have to do is take a step back and assess the situation and say, I am giving you enough. Isn't that weird? I am giving you enough. I had to do this with Olivia. She could get anything out of me. I bought a car for her. I bought my SUV for her. Yeah. So anyway, she was a vortex for sure.
I'm remembering when you told me that you didn't take Abby out to do chores because of the mud, and she looked at you like she was in one of those SPCA commercials with Sarah McLachlan in the background.
It was bad. One day I didn't take this one, Abby, out. Yeah, Abby's a vortex. Abby's the worst offender, vortex. Penelope, not so much. I mean, no one else yet. Queen Latifah's a little vortex. Yeah. Do any of you have a vortex dog? I know you do.
The violins start playing.
Anyone experience that?
While we wait for people to comment, April Adams commented like this weird character, and she goes, "Ignore that last message. My cat walks over my keyboard."
That's funny.
I just thought that would be funny.
I can't. Queen Latifah, at my old place in Carnation, I had the desk set up in such a way that she would come look at me when I was down riding, and I would discover that she would post on Facebook. She posted on Facebook. I was down riding, and people are like, "Are you okay?"
April says, I had a vortex cat. I could never give him enough.
And the trick with these animals is you can't and you can and you do. So please, take that step back and go, I've got this.
Shiloh says, we just pulled out the phone and call ASPCA.
That's funny. Yeah, tell them your problems.
Jenna Hobbin says, she's got a question about her cat. Tanya says, yes, I searched for a 20-year-old car, Liam. And Jill Lenhart says, yes, between the eyes and the drool, I'm helpless.
Yeah, and we aren't, but we are, but we aren't, but we are. Yeah, and when we stop doing it, when we stop and say we're enough, they don't, they might have that look, but it doesn't elicit the same thing out of us. And when it doesn't elicit the same thing out of us, we're able to ask them to do something, or we're doing something out of loving kindness and not guilt, or feeling sorry for them, or feeling like we're not enough. That's the thing, is it's terrible for our self-esteem to have a vortex animal.
It's awful.
Yeah. So, the list is there of all the things with the heart chakra, balancing stuff. So, I would love to move on to the fifth chakra, just because we're going to run out of time.
And I just want to say, a lot of you have questions pertaining specifically to your animal. We'll go in and answer them later.
Later,
We just want to stay on the chapters right now.
Yeah. So this throat area is, this is, to me, it's representative of communication, but communication may not be in the way that we think. It's representative of communication telepathically, of body language, of in space and time, and neighing and barking and meowing and the vocalizations. So it's the thing is that, and reactivity. So by the time somebody gets to reactivity, they've probably done all the things, right? They've done the body language, they've done the positioning, they've done the telepathic, like, hey, get out of my way. They've done all the things, and then no one's listening. And so they have to react. And when we're in this space, when we're witnessing this, it's, of course, then we have to react to counter the reaction. We haven't heard something way back. So we have to get up to speed with that animal. When reactivity is a habit, it's very much more, some trauma that needs to be released, but they're still letting you know, hey, this is unreleased in me. This is still here. So it is expression, the authentic voice, speaking the truth, the need to be heard and listened. And then some of the things that are here physically are, the throat and the vocal cords, the thyroid, the parathyroid, the jaw and mouth, and I can't read, ears. All of this, neck and shoulders, right? All of this is very, she's expressing. She's self-soothing. Penelope's over there. Hey, Penelope, come here. Penelope. Up. She has to do some TV shows today, so we have to get used to our job. So it's good to kind of feel in here, talk about body work. Is this the dog that's running out on the leash? Is this the dog that's, is this the cat that's keeping everybody up in the middle of the night? Is this, and then that becomes interesting. If you have one of those meowers in the middle of the night, it would be great to look at the chart at what time, because in Chinese medicine, traditional Chinese medicine, every hour has a certain thing. So the 3 to 5 in the morning is lungs. So that might be grief. Is there unexpressed grief? Or is there physically something going on? So the throat is, it's an interesting lens to go into, right? To look at things from that perspective. And you're my best expresser. You're my little 5th chakra dog. Ironically, a year and a half ago, she had some weird thing here. This alien that grew out, and then it wasn't cancer. She scared the crap out of me. Who knows? No one ever really defined it. And then a year later, and so I got it down, which was a miracle. A lot of dynamite products and hot compresses. I know. And then a year later, it was like an abscess. See, she's talking. A year later, it abscessed. Like it was still in there. Huh? See what I'm saying? So she is really clear. Anyway, I wonder if anyone has any questions about this.
About the 2nd chakra?
5th.
Sorry, the fifth.
Wow. Can I get you some coffee?
Second chakra and not yet. I have questions about the fourth chakra, but not the fifth.
Oh, what?
So Jenna Hobbins says Daisy May had a shift from last week's second chakra and is knocking stuff off the surfaces. Is that part of Heart Chakra?
Isn't that fun?
That's what I'm saying. It's fun.
It's joy.
And then Thompson Ivy says, my dog often presents his throat. Does that mean his throat chakra is in balance?
I mean, does your dog have allergies? Does your dog express themselves? Does your dog have thyroid challenges? Those are the things that I would be looking at. And are these allergies, I'm going to go through my little, look at the time here. Okay, I'm going to go through my little story here of what gets released in a body. So, and many of you have heard this if you're in my Energy Healing for Animals class. If you imagine there's a little duck on the pond, right? And that duck is floating along and life is good. And then it sees off in the distance the beady eyes of a little fox that is eyeing this duck as dinner. The duck goes into freezes, and then the adrenaline kicks in, and the duck flies off, so flight. And in that flight, all the adrenaline that lifted off that duck now is being released and expressed through flight. And then it lands on another pond, sees its duck friend, says, yeah, there's a fox over there. This isn't a trauma because it's been released through the body. So many of our animals don't have that form of expression, right? I can get on the phone and say, Claudia, you can't believe. I can make choices of sitting down and having a good cry or getting the vegan ice cream out. I can make choices about how to express myself. Animals in our homes often don't have those choices. So when you've got adrenaline shooting off and no place to go, no release, it's got to come out somewhere. And often it comes out in the form of anxiety or allergies. And so I would be looking at the throat area to see, is there what are they sharing with me? And what can I do to bring this energy to, because the adrenals become like a fire hydrant that isn't turned off in certain animals. And so is there a way to turn that valve off, and help them express what it is that they've gone through? Does that make sense? Yes?
Yeah, it does. And, let me see. Oh, what just happened? There we go. Oh my God, the comments had all disappeared. Okay, we have a couple more. I'm waiting for that person to respond. And we have Amy Shook. Would feline hyperesthesia be more of a third chakra or fifth chakra imbalance?
I think it'd be a combination. I mean, I think you treat both, right? Like you treat how can you express yourself and how can I give you confidence? How can you confidently express yourself? Because sometimes animals aren't confident with their expression, especially if they're the ones being picked on. Because they might feel like no one's going to hear me.
And Thompson Ivy says it does make sense. Thank you. He gets ear infections and has anxiety. And then Jenna Hobbins says, Daisy May has been knocking stuff off surfaces for years. It does not feel like joy. Is there a way to address this destructive behavior? What chakra is involved?
I mean, to me it sounds more like third, but I would, I'm pretty booked up as far as I do animal communication twice a month, and I'm pretty booked up this month, but if it's something that needs, Tanya's on here and is in charge of helping people you could always book a call with Claudia, but if you need a free call, we have students that do animal communication for their case studies, and they have to be very advanced and far along with their case studies before we give them out to the public.
Yeah, because there's, to really get an understanding, right, of what's going on, you want to look at the whole thing.
But first of all, this is where we go with like, oh, they're knocking this over to bug me. They're knocking it over to knock it over. They're not, I mean, they might get a laugh out of you or they might frustrate you, but they're still doing it for them. And it's usually something like that it may not feel like fun to you, but if you really looked through your cat's eyes, I mean, I don't know. I don't know your cat. I don't know the circumstance, but I think that if, really looking through their eyes, it's not to bug you, even though it bugs you, right? Like, believe me, I had one of those, Francesca, and it was just to hear the crash was the greatest thing on the planet. If she broke glass, even better. It was so, but, I'm not putting my cat onto your cat, but I do know a lot of cats that do have a certain amount of, or it's their form of expression. Okay.
And then Thomas Ivy says, regards to her dog with the fifth chakra, there was trauma from big dogs too. So it's this unexpressed thing that, or I'm sure is able to express with you, but becomes a very important place to, thing to be able to do for someone is to let them express. Okay. And Shiloh wants to know if skin allergies are throat chakra.
No, skin allergies. Skin tends to be more of a crown chakra thing. Skin in general. Allergies, again, inability to express, is the trust. Is this an animal that trusts? That would be kind of my question for that. Okay. Trust the universe. They may trust you, but are they trusting in the world? So, and do they, instead of reacting, do they pull back? Okay, so when we move up to the sixth chakra, we are looking at our part of the brain and part of the nervous system, although more of the nervous system goes into the seventh chakra. But there's a lot that goes on here. The amygdala, which is connected to that, the adrenals, right? Like the fight or flight in the brain. This gets activated. And I like to think of the amygdala as two little on-off. Like when I feel my nervous system going, I think about, I'm going to turn that off and I'm going to tighten the valve on the adrenals. Like, let's just shut this down now and breathe. And that's something we could think about with our animals. It's almost like, and think about it too, like when we're doing EFT tapping and we're here on the side of the eye, we're almost connecting as close as we could to the amygdala. So we've got the intuition, the inner knowing, the perception and awareness, wisdom and insight, psychic abilities, and vision, outer and inner. Eyes, pituitary gland, sinuses, forehead, and brow area. And wait, come back. These are animals that, I love it when people tell me, they ask me, does my cat see ghosts? You can't believe. They just stare at the wall. So, we have a lot of animals that know before knowing. Like I was saying, I could be sitting at my desk watching a YouTube video, and as tears are welling up, this one has shot off the bed to come over and comfort me. She's shot through the house. I don't even know I'm about to cry, right? But this one does. So I feel like when we talk about the 8th chakra, where it's that web of connectivity of all of our auras into this morphic resonance, an ecosystem, there's that. But this is more of an individual knowing, an individual being able to sense certain things. And again, the more we learn about this, the more you're empowering yourself to be able to not fall into the vortex and be able to elegantly give them what they want without taking from you, and seeing this perception and how they perceive things. We could tune in with them as far as what's going on in the house, what's going on in the world. And again, that'll be really fun with the 8th chakra. But, somebody who's not tuned in here would be oblivious to their surroundings, doesn't read the energy well, misses social cues, might have vision problems. And, again, that could come down to trusting. They'd have to really trust. I've seen dogs and cats that have been blind that almost literally physically see out of that third eye. It's crazy. They know even when you've moved the furniture. It's like they're using this as a homing device, and they hone in on whatever they need to. And it's like they develop this ability to see without seeing. And it's remarkable. And of course, I just spent a lot of time with the orcas, and I've spent years with dolphins. So I know how powerful that is for them, that sense of the third eye and the echolocation. And so, again, there's a whole list of things to do. It's like maybe their perception is off, but honoring the fact that they're trying, things like that. These are the sorts of things that really help them. And if they're too here, you want to keep them grounded, right? You want to keep them in their body, because it doesn't serve anybody to be 2 legs and a head. We need that whole cute body. Any questions? Is anyone commenting?
Jenna Hobbins says, okay, thank you.
Jenna, I would love if you want to see if, Tanya can let you know. Reach out to Sessions. We would love to help. Because maybe some EFT would help.
That's okay. And Amy Shook says, I have a very physically active, otherwise healthy cat named Gus. He's not picked on, but some days he would play fetch all day if I would do it, to the point of panting. He sometimes has episodes that appear like hyperesthesia, like he's being electrocuted. It's gotten better since I've switched proteins and added duck liver, but he still gets so busy and needs to play or move something. Anyway, he talks and asks for his toy. You just mentioned skin being crown. He seems to trust me and my husband, but strangers are scary. She says Gus has also been the one who is the healer, loving on him.
There is a nerve thing that happens with some cats that is that it almost shoots down in a similar but not similar way to what is that? Shingles. And certain cats have they are overly stimulated, and they are you know how you can go to a cat and you can go 1, 2, 3, okay, overstimulated, I'm gonna stop now. Oh, you don't have a Queen Latifah. Anyway. But the thing with a cat like this, with the nerve issue, is you do 1 and they can scream. Mm-hmm. And you're bloody. So that it's usually a nerve, like literally a nerve, overactive. Anyway.
I have one of those. Sandra Farley says, I have a one-eyed horse with limited vision in the existing eye. It is amazing how well she navigates. She has also always been the one that seems to meet our needs before we even know.
Wow, because she's moved into that space of, I can't depend on this. I've got to, that's amazing. All right, well, we are going to wind down. I hope you're enjoying the book, and I'd love any reviews you could do, whether you're on Barnes & Noble or Amazon or anything. And I hope that the book is helping you really see animals for who they are. And I also would, and for them, right, in their own world, and the more that we see them, the faster we can start spreading that word and helping others see them. So don't forget Spring Intensive. The big program right now is the time to get on a call with Claudia. We've got smaller programs too, right? Like we have a whole thing. There's the Track for Ambassador program where it's working with, shelters and sanctuaries and wildlife centers. We have the Animals in Transition. Maybe you're already an animal communicator, but you want to be like from death doula to medium. Maybe you just want to do animal communication. Maybe you're already an animal communicator, but you want to do EFT and scalar wave and things like that. So we have tracks. We have really groovy tracks. And like I said, the Shift Network starts tomorrow. The bodywork class is coming up with Lola. We'll have a sales page out in a few days. And that's it. If you want to write to assist at joanranquet.com, you could say interested in the bodywork class. So then we know the chakra bodywork. Okay. I have to teach, so I gotta get moving here. Any last question, comment, observation?
Amy Shook loves the book. Ellen Dillon's loving the book. Nancy Bishop loves the book.
Thank you.
Susie Mora Reed says, love this book. It's so graphic and full of aid and great stories. It's so helpful. All of your books are my resources.
Oh, thank you.
And there's more comments, but we'll go back and comment because you have to go teach.